Hello, and welcome to another episode of Snail Mail with Smokey. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you're at. If you're new to this channel, then welcome. Here on Snail Mail with Smokey, we talk about all things snail mail. So whether it's postage stamps, postcards, postcrossing, first day covers, if it travels through the postal system or has anything to do with mail, then we're going to talk about it right here on this channel. Now, if you watched my last video, I was showing you all the postcards that I had received lately from postcrossing.com, as well as from swaps and friend mail. And I also showed you a rather large stack of envelopes. And I told you that these contain stamps from all of you out there. So I want to take a minute in today's video and share with you all these amazing stamps and postcards that I received. And before I begin, I just want to give you a huge thank you for your kindness and your generosity for everyone who sent me a postcard or sent me stamps. It isn't necessary, but it is really greatly appreciated. And all of these stamps will find a new home in my collection, which is behind me. So thank you so very, very much. Now let's get started. This is the first envelope that I want to show you. This is from Angelica, who lives in Germany, and she has hand-drawn this turtle. So I am not an artist, but obviously she is a really great artist. And then she's put those wonderful German stamps on there. And then let me show you what's in the envelope. There's this postcard. This was an official Postcrossing postcard, and she tells me that she is in her 20s and has been collecting stamps since she was 9 years old. So I've been collecting about 8 years now. I started in my late 30s collecting. Pretty late to the game as a collector, but I'm learning the hobby, and I have lots more to learn, that's for sure. So included with the postcard was this little envelope, and isn't this just wonderful? And it's sealed right there with a little butterfly sticker. I'm going to grab my stamp tongs, and I am going to pull out the contents of this little envelope. Now, Angelica says that these stamps are all related to the Gutenberg Museum. Those of you who are watching are, I'm sure, familiar with Gutenberg, and especially the world famous Gutenberg Bible. And so these are wonderful stamps. Now, I must admit, I went to do some research on these particular stamps, and I wasn't able to find out any information about them. They weren't in any of my Scott catalogs or the online resources that I usually use. So if there's something that you know about, let me know. Leave a comment and let me know more about these stamps, because I'd really like to know. I'd like to know the date they were issued and some more information about them. But like I said, unfortunately, I was unable to do that. So, Angelica, thank you so very much for the wonderful drawing of the turtle, as well as the beautiful postcard and gifts of stamps, and the really nice comment that you made about the channel. I'm glad you're watching and that you enjoy it. So thank you so very much. Next is this envelope. This comes from Anna, who lives in Portugal. This was another official Postcrossing postcard. I am amazed and blown away all times by the kindness and generosity of my fellow postcrossers. Philately, the collection and study of postage stamps, as well as postcrossing, two of the greatest hobbies in the world, in my humble opinion, and some of the nicest people in the world. And I know that if you've been postcrossing or collecting stamps for any amount of time, you have found that to also be true. So Anna sends me this card. This is St. Paul's Cathedral. in London, and she bought this card when she was visiting the city of London. And so a really wonderful card. Thank you so much for sending it. But she also included, let's see if I can, this wonderful souvenir sheet from Portugal. Now this is Scott number 4407. It was issued May 26th of 2022. It's part of a series called Hunting in Portugal Part 2. And it features a red deer. And it also has a face value of €3. So I love this. I love this souvenir sheet. I like souvenir sheets. I collect them. And that's a really beautiful souvenir sheet. So Anna in Portugal, thank you very much for that. Here is the next envelope. This is featuring the two out of the 4 new Christmas stamps the United States Postal Service has issued. And it's a series called Snow Globes. This comes from Charmaine, who lives in Maine, here in the United States. And so she had reached out to me, and I had sent her a postcard. And in return, she sent me a few things. She sent me these wonderful postcards. They're all blank on the back, so I can use them for postcrossing or swaps. And these first 2 feature the black bear. And there's a lovely shot of Maine. And I particularly like this card. Just a really beautiful image. I've never been to Maine. It's something that my wife and I want to do. It's on our bucket list of places we'd like to travel. Everything I read about it or see about it, it just seems like a really beautiful place to live. And so along with the cards, I received these stamps. I really like these Shakespeare stamps. I'm a huge fan of Shakespeare. I was reading Shakespeare before I was required to read Shakespeare. That tells you kind of how nerdy and weird I am. If you're going to ask me my favorite work of Shakespeare, that's tough. I really like the Scottish play. And I really like Hamlet. But Shakespeare's written so many great things. But yeah, the Scottish play, that's probably going to be my favorite. Let me turn these the right way around. And then this stamp here. Now, I'll stick a bigger picture of this stamp up. This is a stamp of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. For those of you who are Monopoly fans like myself, this is the famous B&O Railroad. This particular stamp features 3 stages of rail transportation. So you can see the horse-drawn buggy, and then the middle car, and lastly, the train. This stamp was issued by the United States Postal Service on February 28th, 1952. And it has a face value of 3 cents. So really wonderful postcards as well as stamps. So Charmaine, thank you so very, very much for your generosity. I really appreciate it. I will use the postcards, and the stamps will find a home in my collection. So thank you once again. Next is this letter. This is from Maggie, who lives in the United Kingdom. This is also an official Postcrossing card. So Maggie starts off by asking me about my name. And so she asked if my name has a story behind it, and it does. Most people when they meet me or they hear me, they assume that Smokey is a nickname. It is not. It is my real name. It is on my birth certificate, my social security card, my driver's license. It is legitimately my legal name. My parents both had common first names. And so I am the oldest of 2 children. And when my parents were expecting me, they wanted a name that was different and unique. I think I was almost called Roman Gabriel. I was almost called Roman Alexander. There was a couple things there. But they settled on Smokey. And the reason why is my dad owned a boot and saddle shop. He repaired boots and shoes as well as saddles. He sold boots and shoes and made different leather things. And so that's what my dad did my whole life. And one day they met a salesman, my mom and dad did, who had come into the store. And this guy's name was Smokey. And so my mom looked at him and said, look, surely that's not your real name. And the man said, yes, it is. He said his dad had named him Smokey because he named his horse Smokey, his cow Smokey, his dog Smokey, his cat Smokey, his sheep Smokey. Everything he owned, he named Smokey, with the thought that if he wanted something, he went out on the front porch. All he had to do was yell, hey, Smokey, and everything would come to him. Well, my parents thought this was a hilarious story. And so that's how I got the name Smokey. My middle name is a family name. It is my dad's name, my grandpa, my great-grandpa, and all the way back through the Tennyson line. But Smokey is unique, and yeah, my real name. So thank you for asking, Maggie. And I did write Maggie back and give her the story of my name. Maggie was so very generous. She sent me a whole selection of stamps. And they are, they're just beautiful. They're from different countries. But really, really beautiful stamps. And I like that Maggie has cut these off of the cover, but she has left the postmark. So normally when I get a stamp that has been cut off of a letter, I will soak that stamp off of the paper and then put it in my album that way. But sometimes when I get a stamp, like this, and the postmark is so prominent, I don't want to destroy that. That's part of its journey and part of its history, and so I keep it. And I think that's what I'll do in the case of some of these stamps that Maggie has sent. I picked out this stamp just to talk to you about for a minute. This stamp I was really drawn to. This is Scott number 4294. It was issued on November 3rd, 2022. It does not have a face value, but it is valid for first-class postage, and it is simply entitled The Holy Family. There you see Joseph and Mary and the baby Jesus. And so something that is very, very dear to me and very important to me is my faith. And so this stamp helps to show that, and also the beautiful spirit of this time of year. So Maggie, thank you. Thank you so very much for your postcard and your correspondence and for the stamps. I really, really appreciate it. Moving on. This is also an official Postcrossing postcard. This is from Nadia. And I believe this is a first for me. Nadia lives in Moldova, and she has sent me this wonderful card all about Moldova. It even has the music right here to the national anthem. It shows the flag of Moldova, a map of where it is, and facts about it. And so she was also so very kind to include a selection of postage stamps from Moldova. Now, I do not actively collect Moldova, but as you know from watching the channel, I am a worldwide collector. I do have a few topics that I collect, but otherwise, if it's a stamp that I like, you can believe for sure that I'm going to collect them. And all of these stamps that Nadia sent me are so wonderful. And I really like them. They will make a wonderful addition to my worldwide collection, or as I call it, my Just Because collection. And the Just Because stands for the fact that the reason that I collect that particular stamp is just because I like it and I want it in my collection. This stamp here was issued on November 3rd, 2010. It was issued for the 20th anniversary of the state flag and the arms, and it features the coat of arms from Moldova. It has a face value of 1.2 Moldovan leu, or Lao. So excuse my pronunciation of that. So just a wonderful collection of stamps. And Nadia, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful postcard, for the wonderful history and facts about your country, and also for the gift of stamps. I really appreciate it. Next is this red envelope. And this was a complete and total surprise. It says, Merry Christmas from Chicago. And inside it says that this is an early Christmas gift. This is from a gentleman named Armand, and he has sent me a selection of postcards that he has produced and sells. He has an Etsy store called Broken Owl Productions, and that's Owl, O-W-L Productions. So you can check that out on Etsy if you would like. And so he sent me these cards. This is entitled Santa Rex. I love dinosaurs. Brontosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, but I also love the T-Rex. So what a great postcard. So he sent me 2 of these postcards, as well as 2 of these. And this is from a Walden watercolor. So really lovely postcard and image. So Armand, thank you. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for the wonderful gift of postcards. And like I said, you can check out Broken Owl Productions Etsy store if you want to see all of their selection of postcards. Finally, in this video is this really lovely and very nicely decorated envelope. Particularly love the camel and the giraffe. Really nice long neck animals. This is from my buddy Monty, who lives in Canada. And he sends me this really beautiful Christmas card. He and his wife. And in it, he sent me this stamp booklet. Now, I am always a little envious, I guess is the right word, because I see Rob, that dead guy, here on YouTube, and he's always showing the new stamps that Canada Post comes out with, and they always come in these great presentation booklets. And the U.S. just doesn't do that. These are those new snow globe stamps that I mentioned earlier. This is how they come. There's 20 on a sheet. You can tell I've been sending Christmas cards to friends and family. And this is how they come. And there's no information about it. Now, if you want information about U.S. stamps, about the current releases, you can go to the USPS website and you can find information about it. But boy, I do wish it was like this, where it was at the ready. And so this booklet was released on February 7th, 2022. The stamp is Scott number 3317, and it was issued for the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. But when you open it up, there is a surprise because Monty has included that stamp celebrating the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, but he's also included 3 other stamps. So really wonderful stamps. So thank you, Monty, so very, very much for that. I love them all. They're all great, but I love that stamp of the Queen. And so, Monty, thank you. Thank you so very much for that. Well, that is it for this episode of Snail Mail with Smokey. I have one more envelope to talk about. It is this one. It's a rather large envelope, and what's in here is rather substantial. So we'll talk about that in the next video. So thanks again for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Also, leave me a comment, and if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to each one of you who have taken your time to send me a postcard, to send me stamps, to send me a message, to leave me a comment. I appreciate every one of you, and thank you so very much. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.